If you're going to make people love you and really get you, you got to be prepared to upset a few people. What do you care about? What burdens you? What upsets you? What are you moved by? When was the last time something really disruptive happened in your accounting world that really rocked your foundations? There's a huge amount of consolidation of firms, so many people reaching out, doing their own thing, so many people getting out of accounting, few people coming into accounting. The whole talent pipeline is an absolute mess, but it's a royal, beautiful mess. Push your views on trends, on news, on industry shifts, client challenges, conversations that you've had. What causes have you got? What crusades have you got? What stuff can you get behind? What are you really, really passionate about? If you do not want to remain in a firm that you are currently in, guess what is going to be your biggest asset as you go out on your own? It's your personal brand. When was the last time something really disruptive happened in your accounting world that really rocked your foundations? I'm thinking something as big as the Excel spreadsheet or cloud accounting. Well, private equity, mergers, acquisitions, artificial intelligence. These are the big things happening right now. Beyond digital transformation, there's a lot happening in the accounting world. There's a huge amount of consolidation of firms. So many people reaching out, doing their own thing. So many people getting out of accounting. Few people coming into accounting. The whole talent pipeline is an absolute mess, but it's a royal, beautiful mess because there are opportunities for accountants, professionals out there that are willing to own their space, have a voice, build their personal brand. I'm Rob Brown. This is the Accounting Influencers Podcast. This is the big close. This is the last in a series of 6 shows we're doing on moving from compliance to counsel and how accountants can survive in the age of AI and M&A. I am Rob Brown, your host, and this is the last time this show will be called the Accounting Influencers Podcast because we are branding to the Accounting Voices Podcast. Similar content, but slight change in how we're going about things, and we thank you for joining us on this journey. We've covered a lot in this series. It seems really important because we're in a fight for relevance. We're in a fight to stay in the game. And this is not just accounting. This is so many sectors, so many industries. We are looking for a foothold and even, dare I say, having the hands on the steering wheel of our own career. We hear about how difficult the job market is, and we also hear how difficult it is for the right companies to recruit the right people. We hear about how AI and automation are taking care of a lot of the low-level work. The outsourcing and offshoring conversation is, again, taking a lot of power and autonomy away from accountants, particularly in North America, the UK, where our audience is the biggest here for this show. So let's recap on where we've got to so far. Episode 1, we talked about the threat. Artificial intelligence is swallowing 50% of the compliance tasks that accountants have traditionally done. Some, well, a lot, are not enjoying the change. 340,000 of accountants have left the US profession in the last 3 years, and goodness knows where they've gone. Big firms are laying off lots of accountants, investing in AI. So there's definitely stuff happening. Episode 2, we looked at the demand, particularly from clients. 70% of owners, entrepreneurs said that they would switch firms for more proactive advice. What does proactive advice mean? Well, that's a whole new show, but you can get ahead of proactive advice by being more future focused and flagging up to your clients what is coming up for them rather than simply reporting on what has happened, which has been the traditional domain for accountants. Episode 3, we looked at the mindset. If we're going into a more advisory consultancy type role, then what does that look like? And what shifts do you need to make in your mind? We spoke about moving the what's next conversation onto the agenda and removing the what's happened conversation. So not that historical backward looking, but that more feature focused approach. That's the change in your mindset that you need to be going through. At 4, we looked at the playbook, repackaging what you're doing, repricing what you're doing, retraining how you do things, rebranding how you communicate how you do things, and replacing the old ways, the old processes, maybe some of the old tech with the new stuff. And episode 5, we looked at the technology, and it's dangerous to say accountants, you need to become coders. You don't. You might need to become better at prompt engineering and mastering ChatGPT to the degree to which it can help you do your job. But we talked about automating as much as you can, analyzing the new tools and the different ways of putting stuff out there, and then advising, properly advising, using all the technology that is available. So yes, this is the soon-to-be Accounting Voices show, and this is the part where we bring it all to a close. It's part 6, and this is the show where ambitious accountants, and ambitious these days might just describe people that are looking for innovative ways to stay hold of their job and stay flexible and in control of their career situation. But we're hopefully giving you the foresight, the playbook, the practical tips to stay relevant, authoritative, where, and here's your soundbite, irrelevance equals unemployment. If you cannot show relevance and stay in the game, then you're going to be put out to sea. You're going to be one of those that are wondering where your rent or mortgage is coming from in the next few months. So I don't want to be a scaremonger. There are opportunities out there. If you are listening to a show like this, I'll give you everything I can. Full disclosure, I am not an accountant. I am a part qualified accountant and former high school math teacher. I've found myself in the accounting game increasingly over the years, and now I host a number of shows in the accounting space. And I wrote a book a few years ago called Build Your Reputation. I'll hold it up for the video right now. There it is. You can get it on Amazon if you want to. It's with Wiley. I did a TED Talk too called The Personal Brand of You, and that's what we're closing with today, is the one asset that is in your complete and 100% control, which is your personal brand. Now, let's just make a few definitions here. Your character is what's on the inside there, your values, your principles, the things you hold dear to, those true norths in your life. Your personal brand is all the outward manifestations of your beliefs. Clothes you wear, the car you drive, the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you come across in meetings, everything you put out there as thought leadership, your spoken stuff, your written stuff, your work product, all of this is the outward manifestation of everything that's on the inside. Your talents, your skills, it all comes out in your personal brand. And your reputation ultimately is, and you can control your personal brand to an extent, maybe not 100%, because my wife tends to know what looks better on me than I do, clothing wise. However, your reputation is the step beyond that, which is what people think about you, say about you, do whenever they come into contact with you or your name or your personal brand stuff. They're making decisions about you all the time. It is perception, and perception is really important. So here's the truth. In a world of automation, mergers, layoffs, your personal brand is your ultimate career insurance. LinkedIn research shows the valuable and visible professionals are 4 times more likely to attract new opportunities. Whether you take them up or not, it doesn't matter. The Edelman Trust Barometer, you may have come across this. It's a measure of trust all over the world with different sectors, agencies, institutes, found that 63% of buyers are trusting individuals and experts as personalities more than they trust company brands and corporate brands, which they know have a lot of marketing clout thrown at them. They're trusting people. They value people and they value you. So you've got to play on that fact. They're not going to trust the fact that you work for a well-branded firm, because there are poor people in good firms. It's not about the firm. People recommend people. They don't recommend necessarily firms. So if people follow people and clients follow people and employers back people they know, like, and trust, and people refer and promote and recommend the ones that they know, like, and trust, then you've got to get ahead of this. If you are invisible, you are vulnerable. You can't afford to be a well-kept secret. But if you've got visibility, authority, you've got influence, you start to become indispensable. You start to have the power to make some choices in the kind of work you do, the kind of people you work with, the terms under which you work, maybe even the package that you're getting for your work. And I've got to make this clear too. Your firm might get merged. If you stay independent, good luck with that. Your role might get restructured. Compliance may be automated. All of these things are largely outside your control. But if you are trusted, if you are a good advisor, if you are a thought leader or a visible authority, or you have strong opinions, I promise you, you will land on your feet in this job or the next. The opportunities will find you. You've just got to give those opportunities every chance to find you. And that means not being a well-kept secret. So think about what happens when private equity takes over a firm, and there's a lot of it now. Most of the firms in the mid-tier have been taken over, acquired by other firms, by private equity. I spoke to somebody today, a very astute lady, who said the bottom is falling out of the mid-tier market. So if these firms are going and the top 100 is being hollowed out, the middle management disappears also in those firms, and the firm's brand disappears. It gets swallowed up, costs are cut. Private equity make big changes, but the professionals who are seen as the voices of influence, the ones that attract clients, speak at events, have opinions on things, share insights, have strategic value to offer, these are the ones that tend to get retained or promoted, and they're too valuable to lose. The other aspect of that is, if you do not want to remain in a firm that you are currently in, guess what is going to be your biggest asset as you go out on your own? It's your personal brand. You've got to attract your first hire. You've got to attract your first clients. You've got to pivot pretty quickly. You've got to cover your overheads as you hang out your own shingle and start your own firm. You will be the ambassador of that brand. And if you don't have the skill set to promote yourself and the things you stand for and the way you're going about things, that's what's going to build you a client base. If you are in any way entrepreneurial and thinking that you don't want to work for the man, you just want to work for yourself. So what does personal brand mean for accountants? Well, I'm going to give you 3 things. We try and make this show as practical practical as we can, so that if you're making notes or traveling in your car or watching this on YouTube or analyzing the transcript with ChatGPT, you can take away some actions. So number one is presence. The strategy for survival is visibility, a mentor once taught me. So you've got to show up. Now, where do you show up? LinkedIn is the obvious place, isn't it, for accountants? It's the largest professional business directory in the world. So that's a great place to start. And it doesn't necessarily matter if you're not getting tons of engagement and follows and everything else. It just means you're showing up and sharing your ideas and building those muscles of putting stuff out there. But there's also a huge number of communities and groups, discussion groups, social media platforms, forums, things, meetings, events. You've got to be visible in person or virtually. You've got to show up, and your thoughts, your ideas, your output, that's got to show up too. If it doesn't, who are you? You're a nobody. And that sounds harsh, but we've got rid of the idea now that technical skills will keep you in the game. There are so many technically brilliant professionals out there, and we know that ChatGPT can pass the bar exam and the CPA qualification, the Chartered Accountancy qualification. And I'm not even going to argue about whether those qualifications are mandatory these days. There's so many non-accountants in the accounting world, but that's a different conversation. So presence. If you're going to build a personal brand, you've got to be visible. So that's your first one. The second thing that you need to build a personal brand is perspective. So don't be vanilla. Don't just put anything out there. You've got to have strong opinions. I'm encouraging you to be a bit more declarative, a bit more authoritative, a bit more opinionated. You've got to care a little bit more. Yeah, you're going to piss off 10%, 20% of people. That's great. It starts conversations. Yes, you're going to make 10, 20% of the people love you because they will really get the strong stance that you're taking. The middle 60, 80%, you see I'm doing my maths there, is a bit blah. It's a bit bland. It's a bit, they can take you or leave you. But if you're going to make people love you and really get you, you've got to be prepared to upset a few people. So when I say perspective here, I mean sharing your insights and your opinions, not just your news. And I don't even mean personal stuff. I'm not a big fan of sharing personal things on a professional platform. What you want to do on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, Twitter, whatever it is now, you can live your social life out there and your personal life and share pictures of you on holiday and what you're eating. But on a platform like LinkedIn, I am of the opinion that it's got to be about the stuff you do, adding some value. I saw one accounting firm owner who runs mastermind groups for accounting firms, and he put a post on not so long ago where he said, I've just completed my first jigsaw, and a picture of the jigsaw. And I thought, what value is that adding to the whole conversation, and how is that helping accountants? Now, you can make anything relevant, can't you? You can make 3 things I learned about doing a jigsaw that apply to running an accounting firm. Yeah, I get that. But people putting selfies on there, it doesn't add any value to me. So I'm asking you to consider your perspective, your take on things. What do you care about? What burdens you? What upsets you? What are you moved by? What causes have you got? What crusades have you got? What stuff can you get behind? What are you really, really passionate about? So push your views on trends, on news, on industry shifts, client challenges, conversations that you've had, things that you're working on, things that you're excited about, things that's annoying you. You can bust some myths, you can right some wrongs, you can get ChatGPT to give you 100 different things that you could talk about. And you don't need to record a podcast. You don't need to spend hours crafting LinkedIn articles or posts, but you've got to have a point of view. Just agreeing with everyone else is not enough these days because there's too much noise. And you want to cut through the noise. So that's your second. We've got presence, be visible. We've got perspective, be opinionated. And then we got proof, be trustworthy. So proof, I mean, share stories of the impact you've made, the results that you've got, the things that you're proud of. Case studies. If you can't mention your clients' names, fine, you can still do it. We helped a manufacturing client do this. I just had a great conversation with one of my tech clients, and we had an amazing discussion about the future of it. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's real people, it's real life, it's testimonials, it's success stories. It proves that you're not just credible, but you're effective as well. As Muhammad Ali, the famous boxer, once said, and I've quoted this before on this show, it ain't bragging if you've done it. It ain't bragging if you've done it. So look, personal brand is not about bragging. It's about ethical bragging, if you like. It's about personal marketing. It's contribution. It's showing up in a way that helps others, that inspires others, that connects others. And when you do that, you help them think better, decide faster, or see further. You are building authority is the currency for influence. So 5 actions as I bring this to a close that you can focus on intentionally that don't take too much of your time, but we're in the business of building personal brand and reputation. Number 1 is post 1 insight per week on LinkedIn that shows your perspective or your opinion on something. Share it with your friends. I've just posted this. Let me know what you think. Number 2, here to speak, even internally, could be externally at a team meeting or firm event, just sharing some trends or client stories, some insights that you've had, an experience that you've had, something you've gone through, but find a platform, find a podium, find an audience, even if it's an audience of 3. You're just getting those muscles working of presenting. Number 3, collect 3 client stories that you can share in conversations so that when people say, how are you doing? How are you? What's up? How's it going? You can say, not just, yeah, things are great, or I'm awesome, or I'm busy, but you say something like, yeah, really great. Just had a wonderful conversation with, or we've just finished this project with this client, and tell the story. You've got to gather these stories to be able to tell them, and you're doing amazing things for your clients. Every accountant I talk to is making some kind of a difference. So that's number 3. Number 4 is comment thoughtfully on 5 industry posts every week to build your visibility, to build your presence, to show people that you're in the conversation. You can do that in 1 day. You can do that in 10 minutes. Just go through your LinkedIn feed and look at what's coming up and comment, encourage, give an opinion. You could do that 5 times a week. That's a no-brainer. And I'm saying LinkedIn, it could be other content platforms where your audience is living. And number 5, create 1 piece of evergreen content. Evergreen means it will still be relevant in a year's time, and put it out there. A short article, a webinar, a video that positions you as an advisor. So talking about what you're doing, giving some examples. Video's tough, I know, but I learned a while ago to pivot my podcast from an audio only to a video and a YouTube platform, because video is a tenet for authority and for influence. We live in a visual world. We live in a TikTok world. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, apart from Google, which owns YouTube. And the most common phrase on YouTube is how to. So people are searching for information. I heard a story about a senior manager at a top 20 firm that started posting weekly about trends in construction. And it was one of the key sectors. And within 6 months, they were invited to speak on an industry panel, a trade panel. Within a year, they were being introduced to clients and other professionals as a construction expert. The compliance workload didn't change, but the personal brand shifted because they were seen differently. They were elevated. And that is career insurance. That's personal branding in action. And it's my contention that this is not optional anymore. You cannot afford to be a well-kept secret. If you're invisible, someone else is going to take those panel opportunities, those speaking opportunities. They're going to grab that client. And the work doesn't necessarily go to the best accountant. It goes to the accountant or the professional that is the most visible, that is the most top of mind, that is the most personally branded. It's not fair, but it's the way it is. So you got to play the game. So if you are visible, the opportunities will come to you. And if you've got things to say and you want some help with that, one of the things I do is a personal brand accelerator. I interview professionals once a month. It takes 30, 40 minutes of your time. And we just do it on a Zoom type thing like this. And we talk about the things that you care about and the things that you've been doing and the things that have caught your eye in the news and the stuff that you're working on and what you're excited about and why you love your job and all of these things. And we turn that with my team into video snippets and thought leadership pieces and articles and tweets and things like that you can put out and build your authority. It's a great done for you service. So if you want to talk about that and create a brilliant content library to build your personal brand in a few minutes a month, I'd love to chat to you. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Listen, let's wrap up. This is episode 6. This is the close of the 6-part series, and we're taking you through what it takes to be an advisor these days. And being a great advisor, we've given you lots of tools to do that. But if nobody knows you're a great advisor, what's the point? So listen, if you found this useful, you will find us on LinkedIn. You will find us on YouTube. It'll be the Accounting Voices channel. So keep on doing what you're doing. Check out the Inside Public Accounting podcast as well that I host with Chelsea Summers. We tell the stories and look at the trends and stats behind numbers. They do some amazing things, some phenomenal research. And check out Leaders of the Ledger as well on behalf of CPA Practice Advisor. We're working through the CPA 40 under 40 influencers list, and I'm interviewing them to find out their stories and collecting some incredible things that are going on in the world of accounting. So that would inspire you. Remember this: relevance equals unemployment. Advisory, visibility, authority, that equals survival. And control. The choice is yours. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.